In very recent and tragic news, authorities have reported that Antonio Dennard, a former NFL cornerback, was shot and killed early on Sunday outside a Pennsylvania club. Well, not all are as tragic as Dennard's demise. Various current and former NFL stars have passed away this year, most long before their time. So stay tuned to find out all the current known details about Dennard's passing and other NFL players who have passed away this year. First up, the former NFL player Antonio Dennard has sadly been shot and killed. But why? Well, that has yet to be determined, but here are all the details we know so far. A former NFL player, Antonio Dennard, sadly passed away on Sunday following a weekend shooting in Pennsylvania. Dennard, age only 32, was reportedly shot early on Sunday in the Legends Bar and Restaurant parking lot close to Reading. He was transferred to the hospital but eventually passed away from his wounds, according to the authorities. Police said that the death had been ruled a homicide, but they had made no arrests and provided little information regarding the investigation. An inquiry for comments was not immediately answered by the Berks County District Attorney. According to the Reading Eagle, Dennard was signed as a quarterback to the practice squads of the Green Bay Packers, Jacksonville Jaguars, and New York Giants during the 2012 through 2014 seasons. He also participated in collegiate football for Oklahoma's Langston University. He'll certainly be remembered and leave behind a legacy in his wake. Speaking of Dennard and being taken far too early, here are some other players who sadly passed away in 2022. There's no genuine way to predict when our time is up in life, much like in NFL careers. Despite being among the fittest athletes on the planet, NFL players continue to pass away much too young. Numerous unexpected deaths in 2022 have taken place, including those of NFL players Jalen Ferguson and Jeff Gladney, leaving the football community in mourning. Firstly, in no particular order, Jason Ferguson passed away at only 26. The Baltimore Ravens announced in June 2022 that 26-year-old Ferguson had passed away. The club released a statement saying, "The demise of Jason Ferguson sincerely grieves us. He was a good-natured, courteous young man with a contagious smile. We offer Jalen's family and friends our sincere sympathies as we lament his needlessly short life." The agent for the outside linebacker expressed her thoughts on her client's unexpected demise to NBC News, saying he was a lovely young man full of love and life. In addition to being a brilliant football player, he was also a wonderful father, son, brother, and friend. Please keep the family in your prayers. The 2019 draft pick from Louisiana was reportedly discovered unresponsive and declared dead without any evidence of injuries or foul play. According to ESPN, authorities responded to a report in northern Baltimore and no official cause of death has yet been disclosed. Sadly, Jeff Gladney also died this year. One of the most devastating recent stories is Jeff Gladney's. Gladney was promptly selected by the Minnesota Vikings in the first-round picks of the 2020 NFL Draft and was expected to contribute significantly to their defense for many years to come. He started all of the team's games in his inaugural season in Minnesota except for one game. His performance steadily improved, and he appeared destined for a permanent position in the NFL. However, it all came crashing down as the Vikings released him after he was charged with domestic abuse, and it seemed as though his career was gone. Gladney missed a whole year of his career as the circumstances surrounding his alleged assault on his ex-girlfriend were investigated and tried. Gladney was then signed by the Arizona Cardinals during the offseason, and it was anticipated that he would rejoin the NFL to make up for lost time. Gladney was eager and delighted to be returning to the NFL, according to all the rumblings from the Cardinals' early practices. Gladney was killed together with his girlfriend Mercedes Palacios in a high-speed collision in May 2022. He left a one-year-old child behind when he passed away at the age of 25. Shane Olivia also passed away earlier this year. How? Let's take a look. In 2004, the San Diego Chargers selected Shane Olivia in the 7th round after a string of injuries put him out for a while. In his first 2 seasons with the team, he participated in 31 games while earning a sizable $20 million salary. Sadly for Olivier, this marked the start of a downward spiral. He became extremely dependent on opioids and other painkiller-related medications. In 2007, the Chargers cut him, presumably due to his addiction, but the New York Giants picked him up the following year. But just 1 year later, injuries ending his promising NFL career, Olivia claimed to have used up to 125 Vicodin tablets a day before experiencing a miracle recovery from addiction. That's why it was so shocking to read that he passed away earlier this year due to an obesity obesity-related cardiac ailment after returning to school in 2015, earning a degree and trying to get his life back. A truly tragic story. Yet another NFL star to perish in 2022, Junior Seavey. Remember when the Kansas City Chiefs selected Junior Seavey in the second round of the 2004 NFL Draft and he played professionally for the next 6 years? Impressive, right? But unfortunately, at the end of his time with the Chiefs, persistent knee ailments spoiled his stint. In fact, his knee had gotten so incredibly bad that by the end of 2006, he was put on the list of people who are physically unable to perform within the NFL professionally. As you can imagine, this would have been a massive blow. He then underwent treatment for microfractures, which caused him to miss 2 seasons of the NFL. The Dallas Cowboys welcomed him back in 2008, but Seavey lost his job because of injuries and the development of excellent rookies. Before the Seahawks acquired him, he was released. He was forced to quit in 2010 by injuries. After he retired, his life began to spin out of control as he became involved in drug trafficking and crimes involving firearms. He was discovered dead in his cell in January while awaiting trial. Next up is Dwayne, who tragically died in a car accident earlier this year. Dwayne Haskins was predicted to be among the top quarterbacks available in the 2019 draft. However, Washington found it difficult to make the most of Haskins, and their marriage ultimately failed. Haskins was terminated in 2021 after starting 13 games throughout 2 seasons. Haskins found new hope after joining the Pittsburgh Steelers, who used him as Ben Roethlisberger's backup. Haskins had a good chance to start in Pittsburgh in 2022 after Big Ben retired, but tragedy struck at the start of the offseason. Haskins was struck by a dump truck and another vehicle while crossing an expressway close to Florida. Haskins had high quantities of alcohol, ketamine, and norketamine in his blood. Now, it was hard to pick just 5 NFL players who have died this year since we feel that they all deserve to be honored and remembered. Here are 3 more past and present players who met their demise. Firstly, Paul Duncan, a former NFL player, passed away this year. He was only 35 at the time of his death. Duncan, a free agent who signed with the Denver Broncos, suffered a heart arrest on July 16th while out running, according to a post by his wife, Ellen Duncan, on Instagram. She wrote, "Paul suffered from cardiac arrest while out on a run in our neighborhood. He was diagnosed as brain dead today. A medical examination will be conducted to determine the cause of death." Dylan, age 6, and Sloan, age 4, are Ellen and Paul's 2 children. The Atlanta Journal obituary constitutions for Paul stated that he was proud to be a father to daughters. Secondly, Gavin Escobar. After an incident while rock climbing, the former Dallas Cowboys tight end was discovered dead in Southern California. He was 31. Following the information provided by authorities to the Los Angeles Times on September 29th, Escobar and a buddy had been hiking in the San Bernardino National Forest at the time. Escobar had 2 kids and was married. Beginning in February 2022, he served as a firefighter for the Long Beach Fire Department in California. And finally, Marion Barber. The 3rd sadly died in 2022. In June 2022, the former NFL player's body was discovered. During a welfare check, Barber, who died at the age of 38, was found in his flat. Afterwards, an autopsy found that Barber had suffered from heat stroke. According to the police, he frequently worked out in sauna-like circumstances, and just before he passed away, he had adjusted the thermostat in his flat to 91 degrees, approximately 33 degrees Celsius. His demise was determined to be accidental. The Minnesota native played for the Dallas Cowboys and the Golden Gophers of his home state before passing away. And there you have it, former NFL player Antonio Dennard and the news of his recent passing. Now, as you can see from this video, the rate and manner in which some of these players passed is truly tragic and just reinforces the notion that everyone is just as vulnerable, even these millionaire players. It is unfortunate to see individuals pass before their time, truly gone too soon. Make sure to let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and as always, thanks for watching.